The most dangerous executive mistake isn't a wrong word or a weak posture. It's being too visible. Familiarity breeds contempt. And in professional hierarchies, the person who is always available is the person nobody values. I'm Dr. Mira. You stopped apologizing. You mastered your stillness. Now you must master your exit. Because what you're about to learn is why high-status individuals are strategically difficult to reach, and why your constant availability is destroying your professional authority. Here's what most people don't understand. Availability is not generosity. It's a status signal. And every time you respond immediately, every time you're the first to reply, every time you make yourself endlessly accessible, you're teaching people that your time has no competing demands, which means your time has no value. Let me show you the mechanism. Scarcity creates value. This isn't motivational rhetoric. It's behavioral economics. When something is abundant, we assign it low value. When something is scarce, we assign it high value. And this principle doesn't stop applying just because we're talking about people. Stanford researchers found that professionals who took longer to respond to non-urgent requests were perceived as 34% more competent and 27% more senior than those who responded immediately, even when their actual expertise and rank were identical. The delay itself created the perception of higher status, because here's what happens neurologically. When someone has to wait for your response, their brain activates anticipatory reward circuits, the same circuits that activate when we're waiting for something valuable. And that anticipation translates into perceived value. You didn't become more competent by waiting. You became more valuable by being scarce. But there's a second mechanism at play. When you're always available, you signal that you have nothing more important to do. No higher priorities. No strategic initiatives that require your full attention. You're waiting for someone to need you, and waiting is what low-status individuals do. High-status individuals are found when they're needed. They're not searching for opportunities to be helpful. They're occupied with work that matters, and they surface when the situation requires their specific expertise. The difference is profound. One posture signals desperation, the other signals demand. Let me give you the framework. It's called strategic absence, and it's based on 3 principles. First, response delay creates perceived importance. This doesn't mean ignoring urgent matters. It means distinguishing between urgent and non-urgent and treating them differently. If something is genuinely urgent, respond. If it's not, create space. Even 60 minutes of delay shifts the perception from available to occupied. Here's why this works. When you respond immediately to non-urgent requests, you're training people that their timeline is your priority, that their convenience dictates your schedule. And the moment you establish that pattern, you've made yourself subordinate to their calendar, which means you've made yourself subordinate to them. Second, scheduled unavailability demonstrates value. High-status professionals have blocks of time that are completely inaccessible, not because they're in meetings, because they're doing work that requires uninterrupted focus. And they communicate this. I'm unavailable Tuesday and Thursday mornings. That's not a limitation. That's a demonstration that your work requires deep focus, and that focus is non-negotiable. When you communicate unavailability, you're not being difficult. You're signaling that your primary work, the work that actually creates value, cannot be interrupted. And people respect boundaries, they don't respect availability. Third, selective visibility creates demand. This is the most counterintuitive principle. The more visible you are, the less valuable you become. If you attend every meeting, respond to every email thread, participate in every discussion, you become background noise. But if you're strategically absent and only surface for high-impact contributions, every appearance carries weight. Think about this carefully. Who has more influence in a boardroom? The person who speaks in every meeting, or the person who rarely speaks but when they do, everyone listens? Scarcity creates attention, and attention creates influence. Now here's where most people fail. They confuse strategic absence with being unavailable for important matters. That's not what this is. Strategic absence means you're unavailable for low-value demands, so you can be fully present for high-value opportunities. You're not hiding. You're allocating your most valuable resource, your attention, to the things that actually matter. Just as over-apologizing redistributes power through language, and physical contraction redistributes power through space, constant availability redistributes power through time. All three are submission signals. All three announce that your position is less important than approval, and all three are costing you more than you realize. So here are the 3 rules for protecting your time as a high-value asset. Rule 1, distinguish between urgent and important. Urgent demands immediate response. Important demands thoughtful response. Most requests are important, not urgent. Treat them accordingly. The person who treats everything as urgent is signaling they can't distinguish value, which means they don't understand their own value. Rule 2, communicate boundaries, don't apologize for them. I'm not available Thursday mornings. Not, I'm sorry, but I'm not available. The apology undermines the boundary. The boundary without apology is a statement of how you operate. And high-status individuals state how they operate. They don't apologize for it. Rule 3, make your presence scarce enough that it becomes valuable. If you're in every meeting, your presence means nothing. If you're selective about where you appear, your presence becomes an asset. People want what they can't easily access. Make yourself difficult to access and watch your value increase. Here's the equation. The person who is always available is always taken for granted. The person who is strategically scarce is strategically valued. And the difference between those two positions determines whether you're managing your career or your career is managing you. I'm Dr. Mira. You've stopped apologizing. You've mastered your body language. Now master your absence. Because the final lesson in executive presence is this: power is not demonstrated by how often you show up. It's demonstrated by how much your absence is noticed. Master the hierarchy.